You will rise up, brothers and sisters. You will rise up from that sickness. You will rise up from that affliction. You will rise up from that cage, from that prison that you have been in for so long. That condition is not permanent. Everything has an expiry date. Brothers and sisters, it may have been so long. You may have been kept in the dark. You may have been flogged. You may have been said to words that are not good, but you are going to rise up. God is going to make you a head but not the tail. You are above and not beneath. Now the scripture that I have for you today is in the book of Acts 9:36 to 43. Acts 9:36 to 43. And it reads, At Joppa there was a certain disciple named Tabitha, which is translated Dorcas. This woman was full of good works and charitable deeds, which she did. But it happened in those days that she became sick and died. When they had washed her, they laid her in an upper room. And since Lydda was near Joppa, and the disciples heard that Peter was there, they sent 2 men to him, imploring him not to delay in coming to them. Then Peter arose and went with them. When he had come, they brought him to the upper room, and all the widows stood by him weeping, showing the tunics and garments which Dorcas had made while she was with them. But Peter put them all out and knelt down and prayed. And turning to the body, he said, Tabitha, arise. And she opened her eyes, and when she saw Peter, she sat up. Then he gave her his hand and lifted her up. And when he had called the saints and the widows, he presented her alive. And it became known throughout all Joppa, and many believed on the Lord. So it was that he stayed many days in Joppa with Simon a tanner. Powerful. That the scripture starts and says that at Joppa, my God, that there was a certain disciple named Tabitha, which is translated as Dorcas. Now the scripture says that this lady, she was full of good and charitable deeds. She was a lady that had a giving heart. Just like some of you are full of good things. You do charitable things. You love people. Now the scripture makes notice that this lady became ill. She became sick and died. However good she was, she became sick and died. And they laid her up in the upper room. Now I love what the scripture says in verse 38. It says, and the disciples heard that Peter was there. They sent 2 men to him, imploring him not to delay in coming to them. My God. When the disciples heard that there was Peter, just because of the good things this lady had done, just because of the good thing Dorcas had done, people were ready to search for solutions. They did not give up on her. People will not give up on you because God will cause them to remember of the good things that you have done, to remember of what you had done. Now I love what the scripture says. It says that there were widows, and these widows stood by Peter weeping, showing the tunics and garments which Dorcas had made. This was evidence that this lady was a good person. Will you leave evidence that when you have gone through a situation, when you have gone through a condition, that there is evidence, somebody can testify that you have helped them, just like people testified of Dorcas. The reason as to why Dorcas rose up from the dead was because of her works, was because of her importance to the people. It was because she was so important. It was because she had left a legacy. It was because she had left a mark. She had a good reputation. To an extent that people came to Peter. They came to a man of God, showing him the good things that this lady had done. May people come to Jesus. May people pray to God because of you. Your situation will leave. You are going to rise up again. Just as Dorcas rose from the dead. Now, I will not read the whole story, but I've read to you everything that in the end that Dorcas arose from the dead. Your situation will rise up and live. You will not be in that place for so long. You will not be in that place of affliction for so long. Just like in the valley of dry bones, as the prophet prophesied, the bones came to life. You will come to life. That thing that has been dead in your life. Some of it could be blood. You could be having a problem with your blood. It could be you having tumors. Some of you are having fibroids. But they are about to leave. Because God will make you well. God will make you well. Scripture says He sent forth His word and delivered them. His word and healed them from their diseases, from their afflictions. There is no prison that can hold you. My God. There is no prison, I repeat, that can hold you. There is a story in the book of Acts also where one of the apostles was in prison and it seemed as though there was no help for him. But the scripture says the church began to pray. My God. And when the church prayed, an angel came and the chains that were holding the apostle, the chains that were holding the man of God were broken. Those chains that are holding you, chains of addiction, chains of shame, chains of poverty will break. You will rise up, brothers and sisters. Well, I hope this word has been a blessing to you. Go ahead and share this message with somebody. Let them know that you are going to rise up. You may be sick right now, or you may be having a friend or a family member who has been bedridden for so long. But know that God is able. There is nothing that is impossible for Him. If Dorcas can rise up from the dead, then you too, your family member who's sick, will rise up. It does not matter whether medicine has failed. We serve a God that is greater than the doctors that we have. He will heal you of all your diseases. He will bring you out of your prison. Well, share this word with somebody else. Let them know of this powerful message. Now, until next time, be blessed.